What's up YouTube, my name is Gio, and the last Star Wars movie in the Skywalker saga has been released. And just like with the One Marvel Has Seen videos, a bunch of YouTubers have come together to just talk about what we love about Star Wars, called Star Wars Defined. These creators have also challenged the fans to make their own videos on what we love about Star Wars. So I've decided to throw my own hat into the ring of content. However, first I had to figure out what I loved most about Star Wars, and what moment embodies that. And after watching the Rise of Skywalker, I knew exactly what moment defined Star Wars for me. That being the final showdown between Luke and Vader, and how it's a perfect ending to the original trilogy. So sit back and relax while I explain why this scene defines Star Wars. To understand why this scene defines Star Wars, we need to break down the stakes for both characters going into this final showdown. For Luke, he has turned himself over to Vader as to not only try to protect his friends on Endor, but also in a last-ditch attempt to bring his father back over to the light, while Vader is trying to do the exact opposite, in trying to convince Luke to turn.
Search your feelings, Father. You can't do this. I feel the conflict within you. Let go of your hate.
It is too late for me, son.
However, while these two are fighting on different sides, they are fighting the same fight. That being one for family. Family is something that has defined these characters. Both have lost so much in that aspect, but what separates Luke from Vader is his friendships. Vader grew up around the Jedi Council, who saw the world and the Force in black and white, good and evil, Jedi and Sith. Luke's friendships are the opposite, as they don't work within a moral absolute. I mean, Han Solo and Chewbacca are smugglers who look out for themselves, but still came back to help Luke destroy the Death Star. They aren't pure good, but they're not pure bad either. These relationships shape the way both these characters view the Force, one more rigid, while the other more flexible. And now the stage is set as Luke meets the Emperor, a character who is the embodiment of what Vader believes. The Emperor thinks all Luke has to do is use his anger and give in, and he will join the dark side. Again, a black and white mindset, because that's what happened to Vader and himself. This leads us into the duel. Now that we have the stakes and views of these characters going into this fight, the way they perform makes more sense. Vader is on the offense, trying to push Luke until he gives into his anger, as he believes once that happens, he will turn to the dark side. While Luke, for the most part, is on the defensive, as he keeps trying to get through his father. Luke only initiates an attack twice, both times because his friend's sister, his new family, were threatened.
If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
Here is where Luke's emotions are put on full display. His attacks are more wild, as he's just looking to do damage. He keeps pushing Vader back, and the fight actually mirrors his first one they had together, down to cutting off Vader's hand to disarm him. And now everyone has a moment to reflect on what has just happened. Vader sees the same power in his son that lured himself to the dark side. The Emperor believes he has won and is about to have a new apprentice. And Luke, he feels the power they were talking about, and then looks at his father in a moment of understanding. An understanding of his turn, and how they are more alike than Luke may want to admit. But they are still not the same. Instead of giving in to the power and taking the easy route, Luke throws away his lightsaber, showing his father that his view of the Force is wrong. There's no absolutes, as he had a taste of the same power and still gave it up in a last attempt to get through to Anakin. And in this moment, Luke has won, whether he knows it or not. This is where Anakin started his return to the light, as he uses all of his remaining strength to kill the Emperor and save his son, completing his arc and finally bringing balance to the Force.
Eventually.
Long have I waited.
Okay, attempt to kill the Emperor, apparently. This entire fight in Star Wars as a whole revolves around the idea of family. These themes of family, whether it be blood or not, are at the foundation of Star Wars. How every generation learns from the past and how they use that knowledge to start something new. This is what makes the fight a perfect ending to the original trilogy and the prequels, by putting Vader's old ideals of the Force up against Luke's and his interpretation of it. And he wins not by fighting, but through a deeper understanding of the Force that a past full of black and white ideas couldn't imagine. Star Wars is a simple story, one all of us can connect to, because their themes are timeless. This is why there are a generation of Star Wars fans, and that's something that's truly special. No matter what my thoughts are on the Rise of Skywalker, the sequel trilogy, or any piece of future Star Wars media, this franchise will always hold a special place in my heart, and it's something that I'll probably show my kids someday, because the story and themes are timeless, and the final battle between Luke and Vader embodies those things perfectly, and was a perfect ending to the saga. And to me, this final fight defines Star Wars. Thanks for watching.